Welcome back to another episode of Big Deck Energy. I'm Allie.
I am Scala.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mitch.
And tonight we have the full crew here for our big number 5 episode.
Hey.
Episode 5.
Hey.
First thing, a few words from Scala.
Yes. So you could follow us at Big Deck Energy on Apple, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then Big Deck Energy _ on Twitter.
Mhm.
And then Big Deck Energy Podcast on Instagram.
Yes, check us out. If you go through our YouTube, you can also get our Discord.
I knew I was going to forget something. It's always
Discord,
something.
we have all the social media.
Are we going to be on MySpace soon?
Yeah. And you can be in our top 10 friends.
I miss Tom.
Number one still remains Tom, though.
Always. It's always Tom.
Of course.
Always Tom.
So
Tom needs a friend.
for this very special episode of Big Deck Energy, we have a few things planned today. We have some exciting topics that Sarah and Mitch are not privy to, so that'll be nice and fun.
Not at all.
Define fun.
Fun for me and Scala.
Yep.
Before we jump in, I do want to point out that my mask did come in from Saffron Stitch.
Woo! Shout out to Saffron Stitch. I definitely said that wrong.
Saffron Stitch. It's like a tongue twister, honestly.
That's on Etsy, correct?
Yes, this is on Etsy. You can also follow them on Instagram and I don't know, maybe Twitter. I know they're on Instagram. So this is the one I ordered. Yeah, it's got for D&D folks, it's got D20s. That's not a D20, it's a D100 side. A D8, a D4, weapons, thingies, and it's purple and it's sparkly and it's super cute.
It
And
is
I'm
beautiful.
super about it.
Let the camera see that front.
Yeah, it just came in today, so I haven't worn it yet. But I'm very excited.
That is a giant battle axe right in the front.
And I will smote you with it.
Oh, it's got a battle axe?
Yeah,
Ooh,
like-
but how
Oh,
is the
that's
fit,
nice.
though?
Well, I haven't tried it on yet, and I have lipstick on. But it'll fit well. It opens up if you can't see. Yeah. And it's got the like adjustable nose bridge piece, which for the glasses is very important. Yeah, so thank you. Go check out Saffron Stitch, and thank you. Super cute. The packaging was cute. It came in like I think it was like a blue package.
Yeah.
Or purple.
Pink.
It wasn't pink. It was blue or purple. I don't remember. But it was cute. And she wrote like a little thank you thing, which was, super adorable. So thank you again. We just wanted to make sure that we shared that. Like we will share everything that we receive in the mail because we buy lots of stuff.
Yes.
Right. All right. So jumping into our first topic. So going with our theme. So Scala and I just went back to work.
We did.
Super last minute. We got a call, and then the next day we were going back to work, opening things, and we were driving, and we were talking about how it's kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah.
It is uncharted territory. We don't know what's going on, and we're just trying to get through it, and we figured it kind of fits with our theme for today.
It does, unfortunately.
Our Western theme. Our very loose Western theme, just like our horror theme was very
Yeah.
loose.
I don't know. That vampire shit stuff, that was pretty horrifying.
Well, thank you.
It was.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was.
So our theme today is kind of the Wild West and not, the gold mines and the cowboys, although yeehaw. But mostly about just uncharted territory. So on today's first topic, we're going to talk about homebrews and house rules. Yeah.
Homebrews and Houserules.
Yeah. So, this topic kind of came up because we were talking, well, we'll jump into our games first, which usually we save till the end, but it kind of makes sense to go first with our games. So we played some Western themed games, and we had to use a lot of house rules.
Yeah.
Are you dipping into that accent again?
Homebrew house rules.
Some home rules.
Some home rules.
I was scared we weren't going to make it out of the accent, honestly.
FYI, we did play Donner Dinner Party again,
So fun.
and I won.
Are
You
any of us
you knew though.
surprised?
I
You
know.
knew.
Are any of us
I know.
surprised?
Scala called me out, but no one believed
Didn't
him.
matter. Didn't matter. I ended up getting targeted at one point.
I turned everyone on
Y'all
Scala.
eliminated me like within 2 rounds every single game. We played like 5 games. I didn't make it past the second round in any of them.
And you had such a good strategy at the end, too.
Yeah, at the end I was just like, I'm just not going to say anything. And
Yeah.
they still voted me out. I didn't say a
You're
word.
weird.
See, the key is not to improvise. That's what happens. Like you start saying stuff, you're like off the cuff, and you're like, oh yeah, like let me make sure that people don't make sure that they don't think I'm the cannibal, and that's what ends you.
Yeah.
Just do what I do and just look at everybody and be like, if you vote me, I'll kill you.
It's effective.
Get that threat a lot.
So first game we played, let's jump right into this, is Most Wanted. And I think one of our house rules was you had to talk with a Western accent.
That was absolutely a house rule.
Yes, house rule was you had to talk with a Western accent. So Most Wanted is you play a bandit, cowboy, person on the loose. And the goal is to be the most wanted. Why wouldn't it be make the most money? Don't know. But my baby brother was really good at that.
Yeah, he nailed it.
He nailed that.
He had all the money.
He had all of the money.
He had by far the most money.
And he stayed out of jail,
Is-
so.
How old is he?
13.
13.
Yes, my baby brother is 13.
We are all in our upper 20s for reference.
Yeah, my baby brother is 13. He had all of the money. So Most Wanted, the goal is to basically become the most wanted. The goal is to complete as many heists, I guess is the word.
Yeah, there's like stagecoach robberies and
The Pony
trains.
Express.
Yeah.
Kind of like accelerating how bad it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the higher you get to being the most wanted, the harder it is to succeed. And you play kind of like poker. Like the cards are kind of just poker
Yeah,
hands.
it's a regular pretty much deck of cards. So if you've ever played poker, it's the same kind of idea. Like, 4 of a kind beats 3 of a kind.
Beats 2 of a kind, beats 2 pair.
Yeah, and if you've never played poker, they have reference cards anyway, so you don't
And
need to know
we
that.
done love them reference cards.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so I guess the mechanics of it work in a way. So how it works is every turn you decide.
Pull the mic.
Oh, a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing, guys? Every turn you decide what you're gonna do to raise your notoriety. So you decide you're gonna go rob a stagecoach or a train or the church basket in church or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then,
Mitchell, don't be robbing no church basket.
hey man, sometimes there's a lot of money in those. And then you get to throw down with the group, and everybody decides who's gonna come along. And then after the job is done, you all play poker to decide who gets the credit for the job, I guess.
Yeah, the
Yep.
goal is that a bunch of people can show up and do the job because that's just how the villainy works.
Yeah, outside of there's things like duels where you choose somebody and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
most of them
It's a draw.
it's kind of up to the player to if he or she is going to play in that
in that
round or whatever.
I kept imagining it like in universe though, like in the canon of the game. Like
How dumb is
I
this
beat
gonna
you.
be?
I beat you in poker. Now you got to tell everybody I shot you.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Yep.
I done drawed the aces, so you better make sure you tell them I shot you real good.
You got to walk with a limp and everything.
Yeah. We had the doctors. We had everybody turn around, so they had deniability.
Thank you, Hamilton.
Yep, when they got shot.
What a crossover.
Right. We like to do that. We bring all the worlds together. So the game it's super simple, but there's a lot of, we actually did a lot of house ruling in this. There is a rule where there's a card where you can lie, basically, right? You can call someone on their bullshit about lying about their cards, but if you do, you lose your turn. But nowhere in the rules does it say you can't do it multiple times in a row. So if I called Mitch and I was wrong and then I lost my turn, doesn't mean that I can't call Scala out on it. So we home ruled that you could do it, but you lost another turn. So we made it so it was more difficult.
So, for those of us who obviously didn't know, I was not there Sunday because adult life sucks. Adulting sucks. But this does bring up an interesting question. When we talk a lot about house rules and homebrews, right? Usually we think of it as a supplement. So I want to know from you guys, when you created that house rule, would you like to see it like in the actual print, or were you kind of okay with it just being the way it was?
I personally feel like there should have been something in the rules for that, just because it does I mean, if you don't have something set in stone, then why would you not just, if you already lost your turn, why not just call it on everybody who's trying to do it?
And the thing about I keep wanting to say homebrew, but house rules. The thing with that is that it's hard to convince people, because what had happened was my other brother, so not the little one, the older annoying one.
The medium one.
I'm just kidding. I love him.
The medium cell.
Yes. My unfortunate almost twin. He was the one doing it, and the problem with not having it written is it causes issues, right? Because my brother's like, well, it's not written, so technically I'm right. And I was like, okay, but that's ridiculous. Just because it's not written doesn't mean that that's how you should be interpreting it. So I think that's the problem with house ruling things, is that if you don't have a predetermined house rule and you come up with it on the spot, people get mad at it. You know what I mean?
As we get deeper into this hobby, I feel like house rules are going to be a constant.
Yeah. And it depends on your play style, right? Like some people there's some people who, if it is not written in the rules, doesn't matter. They don't have to like it, but if it's there, whatever. I feel like we'd rather play a game that's either one, more difficult, or two, makes more sense, because there's obviously things that get overlooked when you make games.
Yeah, and there's obviously going to be people who, I mean, even like Paulie, Allie's brother, like he's really into like Magic and stuff like that. And Magic is one of those games that you try and find those loopholes. You know, that's how you build a good deck. Yeah, you find the loopholes.
It's to find the loopholes and then find the weakness in someone else's deck. And he found the loophole. He wasn't, that's the thing, he wasn't wrong.
Exactly.
Yep. We looked at the rules. He was like, let me read the rule book. And he wasn't wrong, but we collectively agreed he was wrong.
Yeah. He got outvoted.
He got outvoted. We voted him off the island. He was the cannibal. Actually, he wasn't. Poor kid. So that's the game in its most simplest way. So it did take some home brewing and house ruling on our end. What do you guys think, Mitch? What would you give all most wanted here?
I would definitely give it a good score, maybe like a 7, 6.5 to 7. It was fun. Kind of made me just want to play poker though.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
How about you?
I mean, for what so I want to say 6, but you know, the one thing I do, maybe 6.5 too, because the one thing I do like about it is it's a game that's relatively simple. So if you're a new gamer, it's something you could you'll pick up quickly, and the association with poker, I guess, kind of helps people. It's less rules to learn. 6.5 for me.
I would probably agree around that area. It's fun. The character names are kind of kooky, which I like. Like there's like a nun.
Need a tip?
Yeah, you need a tip. She's like a flapper girl. There's a
Ooh.
there's a nun who uses nunchucks, which is kind of cool. Yeah, like nunchucks. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's really punny. So Sarah, you missed that. Yeah, that's right up your thing.
Is that why you guys played it when I wasn't there?
Yeah, so we'd have to hear all your
make
puns.
It so much worse.
Yeah, because you'd make it worse.
You had none of that? You want none of that?
No.
Hey, there is one subscriber that is laughing and another one that just unsubscribed.
Yeah, it's John. He thinks you're funny.
We need to put the link in the video, or the little insert in the video that says skip to this timestamp.
Yeah.
To avoid
Stop
all
listening to
puns.
puns.
Wow.
So I think it's clever. I like the concept. I would give it like a 6.5 ish. It's nothing. It's a good game to pull out and play with people who, if you just want to play something different and you don't want to play poker or like a normal game. I don't think it's anything super complex, and it doesn't offer anything beyond the surface level of what it is.
You know what knocks it down for me? I have this pet peeve with some games where they just end.
Yeah, that's it. If someone wins, that's it.
There's like, we did Lucidity last week, and something that I didn't say in its favor is that, like, as the game goes on, you can see the person is winning. They're accumulating power. It's getting close. It's getting stressful. We were playing this game, and then just like
one move.
I was in the middle of talking, and like Paulie just goes, "Oh wait, I win."
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big
That's a
fan
good
of that.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's no like, oh, it's getting close, it's getting stressful.
Oh my
I
God,
better.
take down Paulie. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
one good hand, and then he was.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could ultimately be in last and then just
And
jump.
still
and
win
win
in
the
two
game. Yeah.
hands. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it was earned.
Right, and it was my brother, so absolutely.
Oh
not.
yeah, so absolutely. So I mean, it really didn't feel like
Absolutely
it was
not.
earned. Sorry, Polly.
Yeah, we still love you, but on the note of games that just end, also this one. So we played Kill Dr. Lucky. It is like a spoof of Clue. It is.
Princess.
Apparently, Princess does not like.
She
Kill
doesn't
Dr.
want
Lucky.
to, or she doesn't want us to kill Dr. Lucky.
True,
Unclear.
true.
Unclear. It's basically a spoof of Clue. That's the best way I can put it. The idea is that you play a character who has an issue with this Dr. Lucky, and Dr. Lucky is lucky because he manages to screw over all these people and never die.
Yeah.
Or never have anything bad happen to him. It has like a clue board. It's a house. You go through the house, and the goal is to get in a room alone with Dr. Lucky where no one else can see you and attempt to murder him. And when you try to murder him, the other characters give him advantages to help him survive. It is probably the simplest game we've played as
Yeah.
far as like learning how to play. It was super easy. And we were playing at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So think about how easy it was that we did not watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, we were already tired.
We had been gaming
Wow.
since 7 p.m. And this was after hours of charades.
Yeah.
You guys played charades?
Well,
Polly finally managed to convince you to play
finally
charades.
managed to get us all to play
Did
charades.
you at least do like that fun, like the like the one I got you with the Tyrannosaurus?
No, we had to do video game charades.
Oh god.
And Scala and I were very much like, we run a podcast about non-digital gaming. This is not fair.
Yeah, that was supposed to go on for like 10 minutes. It ended up going on.
It doesn't matter. We
for like
won.
2 hours.
That's true.
They didn't think we were going to win because we were the old people.
Sunday night was an hour of Most Wanted, like 3 hours of Donner Dinner Party,
We did play a lot of Donner Dinner
Yeah.
Party.
another 2 hours of charades, and
then, like, 30 minutes of this.
An hour, maybe 30 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun night, though. We played a lot of games.
Our batteries were kind of drained by the time we played this game.
So
Yeah.
for us to, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. But it was super easy to understand at 1 a.m. No YouTube videos. I read everything. And we were playing the game like with almost no questions, I would say.
Yeah, it was
I would
really easy to pick up.
Say that like there was not a lot of like, let me double check the rules for this one. It was very like simple. But that's really all I can say about it. There's nothing to it. You draw cards, you get weapons, and you get luck. And the goal is to be somewhere where no one else can see you and kill a guy.
Yeah, I would say we played it with 3 people.
3 people, so we cut off some of the board.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that was probably the most challenging part, was keeping up with where he was going next, because
Yes.
it goes in like number order and stuff like that. It's probably better if you play with more people.
Yeah.
But it didn't take too much away from the game,
No.
for me at least.
But another just very blasé game. I don't know if I would super recommend it. Like if someone was at the game store, I don't think I would say, hey, go buy that game. I would recommend it to people who like Clue and who like silly games because it's fun and the flavor text is pretty cute. But
So it wasn't wild enough for you?
yeah, no. Just West, not Wild.
I don't even know if people who like Clue would even like it, because it's like
Well, it's like the thematic of...
it's set up like Clue.
Yeah.
It's like there's a murder in separate rooms, but there's not
Yeah.
like a mystery aspect to it.
Right, you're not trying to figure it out. It's like it's the prequel of Clue.
Right.
It's the committing the murder part of
Right.
Clue.
Now we should homebrew or house rule some sort of like bridge between the two games where it's like you play around at this and then you open up the clue board. Somehow it could be done.
Except you would know who the killer was.
We'll have to think it through.
I mean, that's easy. Just no metagaming, guys.
Yeah, no metagaming.
We went over this
Check our last podcast.
last podcast. No metagaming. We
Right.
just all just close our eyes.
Did I break Clue for you?
It was a good idea. You just
I like where you're going.
yeah.
You're incorrect.
Or what if you're like some of you is trying to solve the murder of whoever gets murdered in Clue, and the other half is trying to kill Dr. Lucky, who's also trying to solve the murder.
Yeah.
There you go. But you don't know who's trying to murder somebody and who's trying to find it out.
This is becoming a screenplay.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. Pricing, because I totally remembered to look that up.
We've been busy, right?
Yeah, we've been busy, guys. Okay, Scott and I aren't used to being normal people again. Kill Dr. Lucky. I am pretty sure I paid somewhere around 25, 30. It's in that price range.
Yeah.
We purchased them together, and I want to say it was like about 55 for the
we
two
purchased
of them.
that one. Scala purchased this one. Do you remember what it was? 30?
I want to say either 30 or 35. One of those.
You're looking in the 30-ish price range for both of them. Are they fair prices?
I wouldn't pay $30 for Dr. Lucky.
Yeah, there is not a lot of pieces in here. It's literally the pieces, the cards, the board,
Yeah.
which was a little lackluster. The suggested retail for this is $40 online, but I'm pretty sure our game store only charged like $15 or $20, which is something that I think is realistic for it.
Yeah.
$40. Oof.
That's the suggested retail, and then I think Amazon is selling it for like $30, which means the game store is probably a little bit less than that.
Another reason to go to your local game store.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to Time Warp.
Hey.
We spent a lot of money there the other day.
We did.
We bought so many games, so we're so ready. We're ready for sneak peek. We're gonna do a fantasy night.
Ooh.
Fairy Tales. We're very excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, Fairy Tales. Very exciting. We're gonna go to the Masquerade Ball. Everybody is required to dress up, so make sure you come in your best.
To our Instagram
gala.
Live, right?
Yes, to our gala. We'll throw a party outside. Maybe for Scala's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on. It'll be so much fun.
He's not going to know it's his birthday, so it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll all dress
You guys
up.
are putting a lot
Yeah.
of pressure on me to remember my birthday this year.
I hope your birthday's like on a Sunday, so you'll just show up.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a Wednesday. Oh, man. And we'll just show up, and
Yeah,
then
but-
you won't even know it's your birthday.
So uncomfortable.
My birthday's on a Thursday this
But
year.
we won't announce it till halfway through the podcast.
Yeah.
Be
Oh,
like,
by the
talking,
way, guys.
talking. Happy birthday! Just surprise.
Oh, man.
Why do you look so confused?
I was trying to remember how old I am.
Same.
Hi.
I was gonna say, did
Mitch-
you want to repeat that into the?
I was trying to remember how old I am.
Old.
No.
Old.
Please don't call Mitch old.
No.
You know what that means for me.
Ancient.
Wait, when's your birthday? It's on a Thursday.
My birthday's on a Thursday? Yeah, so you're Saturday.
Oh, so I'm a Saturday. Yeah.
So these are our two games. Most Wanted, Kill Dr. Lucky. You can check them out at your local game stores. And if you have questions, let us know about them. But coming off of our home ruled,
Wild West thing.
you look like you have something
Yeah.
to say. Is your brain okay?
I mean, no, but I don't have any questions.
Are you sure? This is the Q&A section.
No, I'm just worried about what you're about to pull on us. I don't know.
I know.
Okay. I guess if you guys are ready for this.
Oh God.
What is it?
This is the episode where we get canceled.
Sometimes it be like that. Now I need you both to listen very carefully.
Oh God.
This is serious.
Scala and I have decided.
They're kicking us off, Mitch.
That's okay.
We're fired. We're being outsourced.
That we are starting an OnlyFans.
Oh.
Yep.
Like the four of us are starting an OnlyFans?
Right?
Actually, you're starting the OnlyFans.
Yeah, we're just running it.
Oh, thank God.
I couldn't think of anything quick enough to get you guys like really on edge. So, on the context of homebrew, and the Wild West, we've briefly talked about this on our channel a bunch of times, and not only on our podcast, but on our actual YouTube channel. So we thought it would be fun to celebrate our 5th episode by talking about something that we all know and love very dearly. Oh, God. What are we talking about, Scala?
The burning wheel.
Hey! Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we thought it would be fun to get everybody on the podcast, do a little update of the story thus far for anyone who's been following our podcast and is interested in our actual play.
Shout out to Fernando.
I did promise that, yes.
We promised that we would shout it out. Shout out to Fernando from Magic Q. Thank you for listening to all of our podcasts.
And pressuring me to post Burning Wheel on YouTube.
Yes, there's a lot of pressure.
Thanks.
Hello, Fernando.
And ruining all
are.
of my plans in Magic University. Thanks.
Yikes.
Anytime.
So we thought it would be super fun to kind of give a recap of what's gone on so far for anyone interested in watching it, and then talk a little bit about the homebrewing process, which we've touched on, but we figured we have an actual episode for it. So we thought it would be really fun to have you both on to talk about it.
Great idea.
And you were scared for what?
I don't know.
Because you know me as a person.
We were talking about orcs, and I'm like, oh God, like not, oh God.
Listen, you don't want to know the things that we've talked about. The things I've seen.
I thought I heard her say something about never have I ever. Like, I was like,
That's coming.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. There was
The
a lot of drinking
podcast.
games.
We'll have to do that on like a
Not-
live like Twitch thing or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Drunk, of course.
Yes, that's what drinking means.
Oh, sorry. I'm still very tired. I'm sorry.
Scala's worked a lot. So, yes, let's jump right into it. So first, I think we'll do a quick little... Scala will introduce the world, we'll introduce our characters that we're playing, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah. So pretty much, if you watch the YouTube channel, which all of you should be, Burning Wheel was pretty... The reason I decided to use that role RPG system is because it's very roleplay heavy, and it just worked the best for what I wanted to do, which is kind of a Game of Thrones-esque world. So it's called New Sorvia. You know, you have your leading families and of course dragons, not in the same context that they are in Game of Thrones, but a little more involved in the actual politics of the world. Yeah, so it's a very roleplay heavy game, intrigue heavy. And on the topic of homebrewing, Burning Wheel literally has homebrewing built in to the RPG system. Yeah.
That's why we love it.
Mitchell?
Yes. I play a character named Levi Warren. Bit of a shy, quiet type. Not, he gets aggravated easily when he's around people who aren't quiet and shy. So,
Who might that be?
Yeah, who's that? Who's that, Allie?
Doesn't sound like me.
Who does it sound like, though? Hi.
All right. Why did this turn into making fun of me?
Oh, yeah. So, I play. I lost my train of thought because I just thought of Scala. Also, if you haven't seen our burning narrative telephones,
We don't have to promote this.
You can hear Scala try to
Scala
intimidate
go,
my accents.
Hi. My name is
Wait,
Thea
intimidate, imitate.
Copperfield.
You know, the funny part is, like, Allie gave me pointers on what not to do when, like, attempting to roleplay a female character.
And what was the first one, Scala?
Don't do your voice high pitch.
And what did you do, Scala?
I went straight into Mr. Hanky. It was terrible. It was so bad.
Don't worry, I have a little activity for the podcast. Once we get through this, I have a little fun activity
And
for you,
like
Scala.
you can. My favorite is the moment when like
The
you could
horror.
just see on your face. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have gone high pitched.
And then you stop,
But-
and then you do it all over again.
Same exact thing.
But you got to commit. Like, it was a great.
That was a
great
look of
moment.
disgust in myself. That's what that was.
It's also on our Instagram, that
There's-
specific clip.
There's a moment in the video where you change because Thea in the video changes accents, and you change accent, and you look away from the camera, and you just take a breath. And I'm just like, he does not want to do this. Why are we making him do this?
So uncomfortable.
You just see all of Scala's life, like all the life choices he's ever made to come to this point.
That's what it was. It was me thinking of what
And
led
just
me to
like,
this moment. How did I
you're
get here?
welcome.
And just like you, but you know what? I gotta give you right after there's that determination of like you could just see like it's for the views.
Yeah.
It's
You
for
committed.
the
You committed.
views.
I-
And you
I
commit. And so we
appreciated it.
appreciate
I had
that.
to.
Very commendable.
Oh, amazing.
Very funny.
very
funny.
Oh.
Speaking of which, I got to get on that. But anyway, so I play C, or otherwise known as up to this point Celia Havenhart. So C is it's complicated. So she's bald. That's the main thing.
That's
She's
the main thing you need
bald.
to know.
That's
She's
the main
bald.
thing you
That's
need
all
to
you-
know.
That's the only thing you need to know.
She's
What are you talking
bald, and currently she is. I guess I can spoil it a little bit. It's fine. It's not character. So currently she is a former acolyte of the Ecclesium, which is the main church, the main religion of New
Sorbia.
It's been how many episodes and I still can't pronounce it. But anyway, it's New Sorbia. Anyway, so she was a former acolyte, and you eventually find, actually in the latest episode, what happened. But oh man, there's so many cool things, but I don't really want to spoil it. But anyway, so she is a mysterious former temple acolyte nun who is bald. Oh yeah, and has this huge ass scar running from her temple
Also that.
all the way down her cheek, down to her shoulder. And she is now known as the Marked One.
Yes.
So there is a lot of, I think we got up to that part too, with the cultist priest as the Mark One.
That's
Did we
Oh,
go-
wait.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
We're
like,
right
it's
before-
like right.
Yeah.
I teased it in the last episode.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So we'll learn more about that. Yeah. So she is very, very, very intellectual. And yeah, then we have
I play Thea Coppervon,
But don't tell
Copperfield.
the guards that.
but don't tell the guards that. Why do I feel like you're just gonna comment on me?
I'm not.
I play Thea Coppervon, the charismatic charlatan from across the sea.
Yeah,
What?
that's how we're gonna describe Thea.
How do you want to describe her?
Like the charismatic person from across the sea.
I said charlatan.
Charlatan.
Do you not know the word?
There you go, charlatan.
Levi Warren's worst nightmare.
Basically, yes.
Worst job ever.
And I have a baby dragon.
Levi, the kicking off of the story of the game is Levi was hired by some shady folks to quietly escort Thea from a port city to the capital of New Sorbia, and nothing about Thea Copperfawn is quiet.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I
but
like
you
to
love it.
emphasize
No?
quiet.
Quiet.
That did not happen.
Nobody said
That
it
did
was
not. That did not happen. Watching you guys, I was like, man, I am so glad that I am not coming in till later. This is both wonderful to watch, but man, I would kind of hate it.
If you like a little adventure, you're like Thea.
That's the first game we ever played in front of a camera. So when you play in person, there's a little bit of acting along with the character. I mean, there always is, but especially in person. And then when you're in front of a camera, you're really trying that aspect of it. So like the entire time you were stressing Levi out, Mitch was getting stressed out in real life.
I was just being me.
Yeah, you were. It was ugh.
It felt no different than any other time I play any other game.
Just
At
so
all.
you know, underneath this hat, Mitch is just completely bald from real life. Yeah. Though I don't know. Like when so you'll, for those of you who will watch it later, not me watch it, will watch it later. Yeah, we've had some really stressful moments.
I hate to say that I've probably been the reason for all of them.
Though, hey, like I
Do you hate to
almost
say that?
No, I'm really excited actually.
though and the third episode, C almost didn't join the party, so that was fun.
That was not my fault.
That was
actually,
not,
I was
yeah.
the reason that you came back.
That was the reason I came back.
I can be good.
Yeah.
I can be good.
So, do you guys want to talk about? I don't really. You know what? Our campaign has become so much of our own, I legitimately forgot we homebrewed it. Like, I legitimately forgot we homebrewed it, and that, like,
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
like, I forgot we did the whole, like, even, like, our very, what's the word? Colorful use of the guidelines, right? The rule book, right. But I completely forgot, and that's what I love about the system. Like, you really can adapt it to whatever you need it to be, but also still have that structure. Like, there's still some hard and fast rules, but
Yeah, absolutely.
right. There's a system in place, but there's no like pre-written campaign that we're running. It's just the stuff that Scala came up with and then the supplements that we've added.
Yeah, we've built this world from the ground up pretty much.
Yeah, shit. Half the time, I still don't even know what's happening. It's just kind of,
He's the DM.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the best parts about it for me is I can kind of base what's going to happen off of the decisions they make. So, I may have an idea of where the story's going, but then based off of their actions, I could be like, all right, well, it seems like this character is more interested in doing this. So I need to put things in there that are going to make those actions relevant.
Right.
And again, we do a lot of the story together. We do leave, obviously, like some for a surprise. So, it's not completely boring for you guys.
And it works.
Yeah.
We get stressed.
yeah, it's like it's literally controlled chaos.
Yeah.
What we do when we're, to pull the magic behind it, when we're going into a burning wheel session, we usually talk about like major points that we want to hit, right? So like, I'm only saying this because this is the one I last remembered when we were doing the Feast of the Dragons, which will be coming out soon. But anyway, we're doing the Feast of the Dragons. We all talked about together as a group and over Discord and stuff, like what we wanted to see, what scenes we wanted to play, right? But we don't plan it out like, okay, I'm going to say this.
Yeah, you don't write it like a book. You just, I want to be in this scene. And then Scala crafts that scene for us. And then we do what we want to do. Yeah. And chaos ensues.
It's a weird mixture of both it's all highly structured, but at the same time, like it's not. Like when you get into it, it's like you come into it structured, and then like the minute you start playing, it's just like whoop, like it just goes out the window.
The best way I can describe it is like if you've ever played any game, so like D&D, VTM, Pathfinder, whatever, is if you could go into a session and say, hey, ideally, I would like to get through this cave, have this conversation with this NPC, and also find gold. In an ideal world is literally what Burning Wheel is like. Like we say those things to you and you set up the parameters for those things to happen. And then if the dice rolls work and the role play works, it happens. Or there's a trickle effect that happens because we messed up.
Yeah, it's definitely good for, I would say, first-time DMs. I was a little nervous about it because it was role play heavy and I would be doing a lot of the story myself. But it also, it's a lot less stressful, at least for me, than having to memorize or like go through an entire, the 5 ebook and go, they want to do this. Like, what am I supposed to do in this situation?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because even though D&D is collaborative, right? But a lot of times D&D feels like players versus the DM. Even though you're all collaborating and you're all telling a story.
It's hard to not feel that way almost sometimes.
It's almost like you're acting out the DM story. Where this feels like it's really much more of a collaboration between the GM or the DM and the players. You're kind of writing, you're kind of deciding together where you want your character to go, not only physically, but, I want my character to have this kind of emotional reaction today. And then Scala will come up with something about, Levi's uncle showing up and giving him a speech that makes him become a man, or what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, that was an emotional scene.
Oh,
there's been a lot of surprisingly emotional scenes. I think everybody at some point has had some sort of touching moment that's really hit them. Levi probably more than the rest of us. You've had a few.
Oh yeah.
In our unreleased content thus far, Levi has quite a few connections to old memories.
Yeah, and huge moments.
Huge moments, for sure.
That weren't supposed to happen. But,
surprise. Yeah, and I think
we rolled like shit and Levi didn't.
Yeah. Also, I love that canon between what's his face.
Oh my god, in love. Yeah,
That's my OTP, but you guys will see. But also like on a personal lever. Sorry guys,
Pull the lever.
I just started my first big kid job, and I don't know words. I'm so tired. But anyway, I think also on a personal level, like I know I get so into games. This is what happens to me a lot of times, especially with like movies and stuff. I get so into them that it's hard for me to emotionally separate. So dealing with not knowing when emotional things are going to hit me, it often triggers my anxiety a lot. And like a lot of times, like I just retired. Again, shout out to Fernie. Thank you for letting me retire Dia. Right. But when we got hit with that moment, I was just like, I can't. Like, there's this big emotional moment where basically her boyfriend gets, it's a long story. Her boyfriend gets, roped into a guerrilla capitalist terrorist group, like how it is, right?
As you do.
But I have so much going on, right? I like as a player, I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't do this emotionally. So what I really love about Burning Wheel, when C had a really emotional moment, basically discussing a lot of this incredibly, how she got her scar. So all of you can imagine how traumatic that must have been. Because again, this is even though the first thing that people notice is that she's bald, like she has a huge ass scar that like left her blind and like half dead, right? But because I knew it was coming up, I was able to prepare and like kind of write out a script so that when I got there, I was still like, I could get into character, I can get into that mood, but I knew it was happening, right? Like I could mentally and emotionally prepare myself, which I mean, for someone like me, and I'm sure there's other players too, who deals with anxiety or just like intense emotions when we're going through this. It's a godsend just to know like, hey, okay, like do some self-care, do some yoga that morning, take some melatonin the night before. Like it's going to be fine.
Not me. I'm best unprepared. I think best on my feet.
Yeah. There's the other end of that spectrum, which is like, oh, I can still feel things.
Yes, I can still feel everything.
It's literally the same for me. I mean, like some of the scenes that happen, even though I know they're happening, just the way you guys role play them makes it that much more like impactful and kind of gives me different ideas for where it's going.
I think because I have some interesting questions for you guys, but I think this is a good time to kind of sum up what we've done in the Burning Wheel without giving too much away, right? So the basic idea is, our characters, but the basic idea is my character comes to shore, gets taken by Levi's character to go to the main.
Do we want to get, I didn't mean to interrupt, but do we want to get into the history of the world?
Shh.
You ruined it, Mitchell.
See,
everybody,
some of us are prepared and some of us can think on the fly, and now you've ruined that.
Pack it up. End of podcast. Mitch has ruined it.
Mitch is out.
Time to go, guys.
This is why you don't have a permanent spot. Rip it off.
Can I get Mitch's?
Take his patch.
Here. I forgot mine at home.
We have spoken about the history in the past.
Did you not
check out our podcast?
Did you not watch the first episode? You were here the first episode.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
You all here. Yes,
okay.
We will talk about that in a second. Basically, the idea is that Thea comes to this island that is ruled by dragons, essentially, in a land where dragons are basically house pets where she's from. She meets up with Levi, who's supposed to take her to this main city of Gorchester, where there is a feast of dragons every year, a yearly feast where dragon games are to be had and families are to show off their skills, and the different regions come together. While Celia is dealing with a bunch of acolyte stuff and getting her prophecies and basically trying to save the world, the three end up together somehow. And they find their way to Gorchester, and they are at the Feast of Dragons. See? Bam. Fast. No spoilers. The disrespect around here.
And there is a baby dragon.
Yes, and his name is Vertval, and he is... Can I show the picture?
Yeah. And even though we moved to podcast form, friends, we may be all in pajamas, but Vertval is definitely in his classiest tux. We are definitely in pajamas. No more of that. No more
getting dressed up.
No more of the
He's very cute. He's very cute.
Though I don't know,
The cutest.
the red lipstick looked good on you last video. I liked it.
You had red lipstick?
It was nice. Yeah.
Anyway, what did you want to get into? I'm so sorry to give that beautiful description of our world.
I was just thinking, we the way we play the game, we've written this, not written, but we've come up with this whole world history and government and situation in the world of the Burning Wheel or the Burning Table. And we as characters know about that, but we didn't, go into it too much in any particular episode yet. I thought maybe you'd want to talk about that a little bit. Or we could save it for the game.
Yeah. Without giving too much away, I do think we've mentioned it, but since we're kind of on the Burning Wheel topic, the idea is that this world of New Sorvia has 5 dragons.
Yep.
Yes.
And 5
So-
ruling families. Yep.
4 main regions and then 1 like quote unquote royal family for all intensive purposes. There's no real rhyme or reason. We have creation stories, but as all creation stories go in religions and such like that, it's mostly speculation, of course, based in some sort of reality, where these dragons have chosen riders, and these riders have become the rulers or representatives of these areas, and each dragon does something different and helps the area with things. So Scala is like DM NPC is the best, Norlo Slane, and he's got the best accent.
Can we get a little hint
Can
of
we
that
get a little
accent?
Norlo?
Drop it on us a little.
Oh no, I don't think I have the energy. How the fuck are you? My name is Captain Norlo Slane.
The voice of a true dragon rider.
And he has a water dragon that's basically a sea dragon.
Yep.
And then we have, you want to talk about the religious dragon?
Oh man. By the way, any cults out there looking for
Looking for a
to
religion.
hire
Sarah can
some
write you
more
one.
stuff. Oh God, thank God, guys. Like, man, if I was evil, man, that'd be terrible. Anyway, so I created the 2 religions. So there's the main religion.
We did speak of this too. Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke of this. That's okay. So C was a part of the main religion, which is the Ecclesium. And that dragon is Tula. Tularum? No, Tula. Because it's the Ecclesium Tularum, because that's a fancy Latin declension. For those of you who did, never mind. Anyway. Nerd. Anyway. So Tularum. So the idea behind Tula and the whole origin story and the whole religion, really, it's this idea of balance, but it's not in the traditional sense where it's like, like we have a scale, right? One thing balances the other. So Tula's healing powers, it comes from destruction.
So it's basically Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what you guys came. They're like, hey, Sarah, like, y'all want to do
Thanos dragon? Go.
Okay, yeah. They're like, hey, Sarah, like, I got another world. He's got the Regolex and coming up with the royals. Y'all want to take religion? I was like, okay, well. So the idea is, so taking that power, the way the religion works in this society, it's not, oh, we're the scale. We measure everything. It's no, we are the counterbalance. The world is heading toward chaos, right? But Tula brings it back. Through destruction comes life, right? So that actually fits nicely into, which then is kind of cleaved by, or I don't know, that's not the right word. I'm losing my words. Which is kind of on the opposite end, the cult, right? They're still the opposite of it, which is not, again, like we measure stuff. It's whatever. I mean, for lack of a better
Life
word,
will be what it is.
The ancient cult is just kind of like, look, like we've been here forever. The world has been here forever.
Right.
We are ephemeral. We're not going to last, sucks to suck. Nature does what nature wants to do. And if we survive, we survive. If we don't, we don't. And that's fine. So it's this weird tension between this outside cult, which is, actively being passive but is being hunted by this very active counterweight thing. So it's that's where C is. She's like in the middle, where she's supposed to be this harbinger of the apocalypse, right? That the counterweight is actively trying to obviously counter, but whereas the ancients are like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. We
Right.
just gotta ride it through.
As you can tell, our religion is our most flushed out.
Yep. And then you have cedar. Yeah, cedar. Is that what
Oh,
we named him?
our like agricultural.
Yeah, Bulbasaur.
The
ultimate.
farmer boy.
He's basically Bulbasaur. Yeah, he can like help plant things, and he sprays poison offensively. Right? He has like poison power, poison breath. That's the word.
Yeah, there we
like
go.
insecticide.
Yeah,
but
so
it
we have
also fertilizes the ground when it's used properly.
Yep.
And
Who are we missing?
The
Regalax.
military, the Regalax,
The military dragon.
Regalax,
Yeah.
the king dragon. He is or was the classic four-legged, two-wing, fire-breathing dragon.
black
You know?
with like gold, I think is what
Yes,
he. Yeah,
yeah.
he's very traditional.
So yeah, because you guys use Bulbasaur to describe the one dragon. It's like every
Kinda like
region's
Bulbasaur.
dragon. They're not like, they're all dragons, but they don't look the same.
Right.
Yeah, they're not your
Snake, one's like
stereotypical
a-
dragons.
What's
Yeah.
the water dragon's name?
Norlo's dragon.
Oh
What's
my
Norlo's
god.
dragon?
Can't
is
pull
so
out the
bad.
Discord now.
Caspian.
Thank you so much.
And he's
Sorry,
like,
Norlo.
he's like a big sea creature. Like he's like. That's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
Whereas Chula is more like sleek and has like feathers.
She has feathers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an angel.
And then of course, Baby Boo, the military dragon
Oh, the military dragon is, I think,
with Arwen.
oh, that's
the
right.
female general dragon rider.
No. Arwen's a male. He's the NPC guy that I'm obsessed with.
I was thinking of the dragon
But
rider.
the dragon, yeah. But
It's been a while since we recorded.
It's been a while since we wrote the world too.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the NPC that I got to admit that he was cheating on his wife.
Oh.
Yeah. And then almost
That episode hasn't
Killed
come
his
out
wife's
yet.
And then
Spoiler
almost slit his
alert.
wife's throat. So
Yep.
whatever, you know.
Spoiler alert, that episode hasn't come out yet.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
I slit someone's throat.
We're just gonna say
Someone
a bunch
call
of bullshit here, so you can pick apart, what's
wait.
true and not.
Oh no, Al, I thought we were talking about Burning Wheel, not in real life.
Oh. I almost slit someone's throat in in the game. I just pushed her down the stairs instead.
Is there a dragon in your handbag?
First of all, why are you going in my purse? Rude. I had $25,000 in there. First of all.
Yeah, that was a bad call on my part as DM. I should have known that Allie / Thea was gonna do that.
One of my literal quirks is that I can't not gamble.
Yeah.
I have to gamble no matter the cost.
But
It worked out.
But I gotta say, I mean, you know how everyone has like their top 5 like RPG moment? Like that moment after what happened, what C did, that's in my top 5. I was so proud of that. I was so proud. I can't wait till you guys see it. Hear it.
Yeah.
Hear it.
Oh man. I looked real cute for that episode too.
Maybe I'll do that video.
Whatever.
Like when you go to work and there's always that one person who's always like, "Don't screw me. I'll hit you or I'll cut you or something like that." That's the issue. Cut you.
Yep.
She'll do it.
Probably has.
Anyway, the military dragon.
And Scully gave me a dagger. That
Is-
was also a bad choice.
Also a very bad choice. I have a lot to learn about DMing, especially for Allie.
Fucked up.
I fucked up.
Oh yeah, the military dragon's cool.
Yeah, it's this a steel scaled dragon
Yes.
who the special military forces use it's almost like its shedded scales and teeth, and they turn them into armor and weapons, which is pretty cool.
I was super proud of that one. That was a cool. I don't remember how we came up with it, but that was a cool one. I was proud of that.
Yeah.
And it's got a special ultra move.
It goes plus ultra.
It goes plus ultra.
It instead of breathing fire, it can like
X-
shoot its talons or its teeth like
It's T. Yeah.
like giant arrows almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Regalax, who you actually don't meet, because he's based
But
off of the backstory.
But you do see a sneak peek.
Yeah, you do get some sneak
You
peeks.
sneak peek.
coming
Wait,
up.
No, they don't know that yet.
No, I think they have. They no.
No, one of the
You're
there's
right.
been
Oh,
there's
the
been
first one, yeah,
there's
okay.
been
The
one.
first one, yeah, because
There's
they see
been
the
one.
vision. C has a vision.
Yeah,
There's
so
been one vision so far.
So regular that whole thing is based off of pretty much the backstory of before, I think most of the characters were born, or they were really
Before
young.
all
yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
one or two of them might have been a year
We
old. I
said-
think
yeah.
Thea wasn't born.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we said like 30 years afterwards or
so
something like that.
none of us.
Yeah,
none
so
of our
I think
characters are born.
C's 28, so it was like 2 years before she was born.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much the whole thing about that is during that time period, there was a ruling family. Now it's more of a council, and the not necessarily the dragon riders, because they're not all dragon riders, but the
No.
families that were chosen by the dragons are ultimately the families who are running New Sorvia as a whole.
Yep, it's very exciting. Oh my god, the politics of it are so fun.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It went from more like a kingdom, right, a monarchy. Now it's more of like city states, right? I think we could.
Kinda. I
Kinda,
mean,
right?
it was kind of like the way for the Game of Thrones referencing things.
Yeah.
It was kind of like what happened where before, what we have now is kind of what the before times were in Game of Thrones, where like the North ruled itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
I can't even remember all the names because it's been so long.
The Seven Kingdoms, right?
It was seven
Yeah.
kingdoms, but imagine if those seven kingdoms all sat on one council and
Right.
worked together, where the old way was like what it was, where King's Landing is where the king lived and everybody else kind of worked for the king, and they still had power. You know, like Ned Stark's family still had some power, but they weren't.
Yeah, they only
In
had power
charge.
in the north.
Yes,
Yeah, and don't read into that. We're not, like
it's just the best way I can
we do
compare
not
it.
support a monarchy. Things were just better that way.
Things were just better like that.
yeah. It's more like each kingdom runs its own like day-to-day operations,
Right.
larger political movements, but they come together for like big things like the Feast of Dragons, right?
Or just
Yeah.
tune in and watch them all tear each other apart, because you know that's what's going to happen
yeah.
as politics goes.
Absolutely.
It's 2020. It's election year, so
We should do.
we're
Speaking
gonna
of
definitely do an episode of that.
apocalypses,
we're gonna do like maybe when we get closer to the election, we'll do like a
Cry?
Yeah,
cry,
we'll do a political thing with
panic attack.
burning table.
Dare I say, make New Sorvia great again?
Oh God.
I am personally canceling us now.
I'm-
Now we are canceled.
Okay,
This will be our last
goodbye.
episode.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Literally,
I
you're getting
don't-
kicked off the podcast.
Yeah. Why do you do these things? We're
Between
trying.
you and Sarah, we have bad puns and bad jokes.
Hey, would you at least mine are not at least mine don't go that far. Even I have a limit. Like I have a limit, guys.
That actually
I don't have a limit.
did remind me of something though. There is it's up in the air. It, like Ali said, it's a lot of speculation about what actually happened to the royal family and why it happened. So depending on who you're speaking to or what NPC is speaking, they have completely different viewpoints on
Yeah.
what happened and if it should have happened.
That's kind of been coming up, and again, not in the most recent play that we've had, is that stuff's been coming up where my character, who has no idea about any of this, is asking other characters and learning like, well, C told me it was this thing, and Levi thinks it's this thing, and then this random person told me it's neither of those things.
Yep.
So which one is it?
Well, some of us, it's baked into our blood even, so
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
well, we'll get into that.
So, my question for you guys, we'll start with Scala being the DM. What has been we'll start with this one. What has been your favorite and or most memorable moment in the Burning Table actual play? So not the preparations, not the planning, not what is your favorite aspect of the dragons, because I think a lot of that stuff might be our favorites collectively. But just a moment that sticks out that if people are watching, they can kind of look for it and see like, oh, this is the moment that like a moment that really sticks out with Scala. It's going to go to you guys too. So get those brains going.
Oh man,
You probably
This
have
is
a few as the DM.
Yeah, there's a few that definitely stand
Share
out for
them
me.
all.
Yeah, you
There's
can give us
definitely-
one.
no, really.
One
I would
that
love to
you
hear.
did. One, maybe if you want. Maybe we'll come back to you. Maybe one.
Yeah.
One from you.
So I don't want to
Do
take
you
one
wanna-
from one of you guys.
and then one
Yeah.
from each of the players that stands out, because you
That
as the
works.
DM have had the opportunity to create the world based on the things that we've done and the things that you've done. So my question to you is things that stick out to you, whether you've planned them, something that you've done that like maybe has gotten all of our reactions and you're like, oh, that's what I wanted, or something Mitch has done that's really been whatever, or you get where I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll come back to you because I know that's a lot to just
Yeah.
throw.
Do you want
at
to go first, or do you want to go first?
If you have one, feel free to jump in.
No?
I don't know what my favorite moment is, but one that will always stand out to me as a player, as in proud of myself, and then I'll give you one that stands out for me. For you guys, I'll do the same thing.
Ooh.
A moment I was proud of myself as a player was I think I'm very clever. I don't think that everyone thinks I'm very clever, but I think I'm very clever. But there was a moment where Scala had an NPC that had not been to my homeland, but had contact with people from Thea's homeland. And he made up some fruit that I had never heard of. And we did not talk about this. I didn't know.
What a good moment.
I didn't know I was going to meet an NPC from who would know about her homeland. And he gave me some fruit and he was like, oh my God, they're going extinct. And like on the fly, I was like, well, yeah, they're going extinct because we used to use those fruits to like power, to use them as energy drinks because we had to work in the factories all day. So we needed energy from somewhere. And then the look on Scala's face and he's like, did you just come up with that? And I was so proud of myself in that moment. I was like, someone thinks I'm clever.
Show the cracking. That was good.
Yeah, that's the
When
other part that I loved about it. You came up with the whole idea
you came up with
of
the whole
how to
idea.
open it. Yeah.
Like literally, like there was like clapping and then like
Oh,
tap
yeah.
and then you drink and then like
I was
it
just making
phenomenal.
things up to make you guys look stupid.
See, yeah, we knew that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then I made up a process of how to open the fruit where I was like, oh, you shake it and you hit it 3 times and then you slap it and then you do this and then all of a sudden it opens and then Scott was like, yeah, that's how it works. And
You know,
they were
that's the
like,
funny part is I came up with the fruit before time and didn't tell Allie anything, and she ended up knowing more information about it than I did. And I was caught off guard. I was like, that's not how this is supposed to go. Okay.
Because I remember you a session before telling us, hey, whatever happens, just say what it is, and then that becomes part of the
Exactly,
world
yep.
as long as it makes sense. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here and ask this guy who knows I'm from this place how to do something that I should know how to do. And I was
Yep.
like, well, I'll just say it, and if it's wrong, he'll be like, you're silly. That's not what it is. Stop messing with your friends. And it worked. And I was super proud of it. So that's a super, super small moment for me. Thea's done a lot of things, and that's not by far the most memorable. But for me as a player, it was a super special moment for me. I'm trying to think who I want to do next. Levi, I don't even think this came up yet. There's a really touching moment with Levi where you go into his past. And there is just this raw emotion on your face when you... I don't want to ruin it, but there's a moment where you get something that's very personal to your character. And I tried to make light of it almost because that's what Thea does. And just the like honesty on your face when you were like, that's like from Levi to Thea, where you were just like, that's not what this is right now. And it was a really vulnerable moment for you as a character and you as a player, because I don't really get to see you in those moments, in fake life. In real life is different. But in fake life, that was a really impactful moment for me.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard question to answer for me because so many the episodes that we have played and not released thus far are pretty full of
Big things.
Levi
Yeah,
moments.
big Levi moments.
And every moment I want to pull from is from those episodes.
Well, I mean, you probably can pull for them because by the time people get through these it's
Yeah.
probably...
Yeah.
When obviously there's the moment you're talking about, which I won't go into.
Yeah.
But there's also, you read into the game you play and you associate things within your real life. And there's a moment where Levi gets to show great thanks to his uncle, who basically raised him and saved his life and took him off the wrong path and everything. And it felt real, and you, like I said, you associate things from your past, your own past, and you associate characters with people who are people in your life, and you make those connections in your own head and your own heart, and it feels real, and it just did,
Yeah, it was a good moment.
I can't wait for that episode to be out there, because I
That's-
just want to relive it myself. I want to see it. I want to hear it.
Can we
I feel like that is that episode not out?
No.
That's the most recent thing we've played.
We're
Oh, you're talking about the big thing. I'm talking about the thing I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about the thing.
I see.
Oh yeah, both neither of those. I think the thing that you're talking about, I think that's going to be the next upcoming
Like the
one.
first thing. It has to be like
it's
the
gonna
first
be like
thing.
the first thing that's going to happen. The one that you're talking about,
Yeah, that's not
it's-
even close.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
not close.
3 episodes away.
The one I'm talking about is the victory
I know, yeah.
that he experiences. And
Yeah.
Levi's uncle is somebody who gave up the type of things that Levi gets to do now because of Levi, for Levi.
Right.
And he gets to honor him in that way, and that was really cool for me.
Yeah.
Very touching moment.
Very touching. You've had a lot of
Oh
them.
man, yeah.
I guess I don't know. Do you guys want to continue Levi moments, and then we'll just come back around the table?
Oh yeah.
Since I'm in the fields for Levi.
Yeah. That moment was what I was gonna say. Oh, you know what? So I'm just to touch on a different moment. This just speaks. I mean, I love everybody's role playing, but this really speaks to you, Mitch, because I know we haven't role played as much together as much as me and Allie, but. What really sticks out to me when I think of Levi is that very, very first episode when Levi saves the little girl. He didn't
That's a
have
great
to.
moment, yeah.
Like, what a great moment. Because in one hand, you can see like everybody go watch it, right? On one hand, you can see like obviously this guy is, very skilled at what he does. Probably, might have not come from, the smoothest of paths, right? And when he saw this guard picking on a little girl, right, his first instinct was to save the girl, right?
Yeah,
right.
It was a good moment.
And even then, the way you played it, even though you could tell, like, you wanted to piss off that dude, like, you wanted to piss him off, like, you were able to embody both that, like that trickstery part, but also I think what's at the heart of Levi, just like a heart of gold, like a curmudgeon with a heart of gold. So like when I saw you role play that, I was like, oh, we got something. I was like, this is so exciting.
Yeah,
I was like,
That was a
oh
good
man.
moment.
Definitely. And even with that, in that very scene, this speaks to more of Mitch as a player, but he uncovered something that wasn't supposed to be uncovered.
Yeah, that was
for,
Yeah.
for episodes ahead.
Yeah.
Which
he noticed something
Yeah.
so minuscule that like
he just asked a
Never.
question I did not expect him to ask, and I had to give him
the answer
information.
because he had the ability to know the
Yep.
answer. Yeah,
And that's, in essence, that's the burning wheel. Like,
that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. What's your favorite Levi moment?
Honestly, my favorite Levi moment is probably the one that Mitch referred to. It's such an emotional scene. But another Levi moment I really liked is his interaction with Thomas Streetfellow.
Oh,
Because
Thomas.
Mitch was just so like off the cuff with his like rebuttals and like it seemed
Yeah.
like just two people having a conversation.
It was,
which was
so good.
yeah, and none of it was scripted. It was just kind of on the fly. We didn't even know that character existed until like maybe the episode before.
Yeah.
talk about really burning wheel stuff. It's like, yeah, I want to have this conversation with a character from my past. Let's call him blah blah blah.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
how we came up with
Okay,
Streetfellow.
do it.
Street fellow, the street guy. I don't know, street fellow.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Tomei?
It's Tomas.
Tomas, right?
Tomas Streetfellow.
Tomas, what was it? Goodfellow? Good man? Rich man?
Rich man, fancy pants. I
Fancy
don't know.
pants? Something
Yeah.
like that. Oh, so good.
And yours is the moment that we're not going to talk about. Levi's a great character, super dynamic in a way that Levi is traditionally a hero. Like, he's like the traditional meaning of like a character with a fatal flaw who was dealt a poor hand that maybe he gave to himself almost, but
the scarred past.
Oh my God, Levi's just got it all going.
Very
for
complex.
him. Yeah.
Also, there's this whole aspect of if certain events didn't happen in the world building of this
would he be
story, he would be set up more like a classic hero, kind of like a princely
that's
type.
what I mean. Like, he is a classic hero. With the exception of like the cards he was dealt, like in every way, he's still a hero. He's still like the Hercules, right? It's just that he's Hercules before Hercules meets Zeus. You know what I mean? Like, in the Disney way, not in the
he's more
mythology way.
Completing the hero cycle.
Yeah,
but really though, like I feel like we're meeting Levi right in the middle of right when the hero goes, oh fuck, like the call to action.
Oh
right?
Shit, I'm a hero.
Oh fuck, like I gotta go do shit, right? I gotta go. I hear this, right, which is
calling, this beckoning.
Exactly.
It's my turn.
I need to do this, but how the fuck do I do it, right? But it's like it's both. What I really like about Levi too is he's able to have that moody past without it being. How do I put this? Again, it feels still very light because I think it plays into those, in a good way, it plays into those tropes that we have of heroes, right? Of the call. We know there's going to be a call. We know he's going to level up all the way until he dies and then comes back to life. And then like, and all that stuff.
That I want to make like really bad a My Hero reference, right?
Yeah. I know.
As Alma would say.
Me and Allie have watched.
It's your turn.
67 episodes.
69
episodes of My Hero Academia
in like a week and a half.
Yeah,
it's a great show. I recommend. But it fits in with the Levi topic because it's superheroes and it's just about that, like, on a fundamental level, just that passion to just do good. And like, I wasn't kidding, but like all my like you're next, like that, like Levi had that moment of like, it's your turn to go do this great thing,
right? And it's almost something that's somehow being thrust onto him
That's
little
what
bit.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not used to playing characters like that. I know I've played and written Levi to fit into that hero mold a little bit. I'm not trying to give him like the main character syndrome thing.
No, I don't think he has that at all. That's not what I mean.
But you guys know, like when we play games, like I'm usually like the weird goofy drunk character.
You're usually
with the accent.
Thea Coppervon.
Like the like, oh, it's that guy. Okay, great, he's coming along.
With like random wisdom, but like also kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's my forte.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a little bit more of a serious kind of.
I think it's been good for you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying playing it. Wow, that was an unexpected deep dive into Levi.
Let's move on to Celia. Celia, well, why don't you tell us your favorite moment?
Okay,
without spoiling things.
Oh no, actually, my favorite moment, it's already passed. I'm past my peak. No.
Aren't we all?
Anyway, my favorite Celia moment, it's more of like I think it's more of like a proud of like myself moment. So those who know me in real life know I am not confrontational at all. Right.
Oh, this is going to be my favorite moment too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not confrontational at all. I tend to play a lot of characters who are peacemakers, right? Rally the troops, right. So when I made Celia, it was really hard. When I was still trying to figure out what she was like, right? One of those first sessions. For those of you who have watched, for those of you who haven't, it's actually the very first meeting when we meet, when Celia meets Levi and Thea. It did not go well. First of all, I was really proud of just me being able to think up on the spot, like really kind of smart things. Like, I'm like, I don't know where the hell I pulled, what did I say for... Oh, blasphemy. It was a blasphemy or like something.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Oh, it was Heretical. I don't know where the fuck I don't know where
Heretical.
I don't know where I
Yeah.
pulled that up from. But my proudest moment was there was a moment where Levi being like it made sense. Celia was kind of hesitant to go, especially because she finds out, like, I mean, to be fair, she's also lying, but she's like, oh God, like, this person has a dragon, right? This person has a dragon. This guy lied to her. Like, they don't know where they're going. And then on top of that, Levi says something like,
he threatens her, basically.
he basically threatens her. And I remember there's a moment, and you can see it in the video, where it just kind of paused, and I'm like, okay, what I decide next will define, right? And I think I was really proud of myself because I don't think Sarah would have done it, but I realized, like, no, I wouldn't have. But Celia, I realized, like, I always kind of imagined her as this waffler, and then I was like, no, Celia knows what, she, even if, like, again, necessarily her new thing is passivity, right? She knows what she wants. She will not stand for it. And especially he kind of like hinted at his sword. I'm like, oh, you think you can frighten me with a sword? Bitch, I was blinded, right?
It's
and
true.
so I almost broke up the party because I was like,
Right.
you know what? I'm like, Celia would have been just like, fuck it, right? And I think I was really proud of myself at that moment because, I mean,
that was a good moment. That was my favorite moment.
I was going to say that moment as well because we RP'd that together. And Celia's a bit interesting to me because she's a bit of a liar.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I'm always off base a little bit when I'm interacting with her, and I was expecting that threat to kind of like be the final word, and then you clapped back with some like intensely quiet rage kind of response, and I peed a little bit in my pants, and
Me too.
yeah.
that was
an incredibly
so much fun to RP.
Yeah, real quick. It's weird because, again, I'm a terrible liar, guys. I'm suck at Donner Party. But I think what helps me with RPing with Celia, it's just, she's lying. She's keeping this whole big secret, but it's for the greater good.
It's
right?
also not lying if nobody asks about it.
Exactly.
Like, it's not lying until you actually lie about it. It's just not saying the whole truth.
Yeah. And I think that's also a very strange kind of a mind twist that I'm playing with C that I don't really usually play with characters. Like, they're usually very straightforward, right? Because
my other second favorite moment is another moment I can't talk about, which I realize now. You have Celia has a lot of good moments coming up that are really like important to Celia, who she is. She stands up for somebody that you almost for the whole game, not the whole game, the whole session, you don't think Celia's going to do anything. And then all of a sudden she makes this like split decision to just go because Celia had to do it. And I thought that was a really cool moment for you, kind of in the similar way. Like you said, it's like, it was just in a way that like, it was in such a Celia fashion where like the whole time she's avoiding it, she's like ducking into these different tents and like, and then all of a sudden she just makes that decision. And when she makes it, she gives this amazing speech that I don't know how you think of on the fly. And then this thing happens from it and it just works.
Yeah, I think for me, well, can I talk about this? Yeah, that was early. So my favorite Celia moment was probably her meeting the Oracle, and honestly,
that's my DM moment for you. That's what I was gonna say. It's such a good DM moment.
Oh man, that's what I was gonna say to you.
It was more for me. It was like the way Sarah played it and her reaction to. Well, it felt good. It definitely felt good. I definitely whispered too much in it, but that was early.
It's an amazing scene. It does have subtitles.
That was the first great scene of the game.
It was like the moment where like the game was like, oh, we have something, and like that was the moment for me that I was also like, oh, Scala's gonna be a great DM. Like when you put that together, I was like,
exactly
that for me kind of switching gears here, because it's a great segue into you. That for me was the moment that I was like, oh, Scala's going to be an amazing DM. He's got this stuff figured out. Like that speech you gave as the Oracle.
Oh,
if you guys watch the video, there's me and Mitch in the background and I'm like, I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I remember I can see myself at the table right now going like just like listening with my eyebrows up, looking at Allie, and then her looking at me going,
Again, you'll see the odd video where it's just like I go from serious, very serious Seal, and then like those panicked laughs are real. Like I am genuinely freaking out. Like as I'm looking at Scala and I'm just like, oh, I am woefully unprepared. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, oh my. But that was like such
So good.
And I still can't believe this is your first time DMing.
Yeah, it really is
Like
impressive.
as a player,
Yeah.
like
guys.
and then like this kind of is like another Celia like when like that bell scene when the bell rings.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
god,
Comes
that's
out
an
of
amazing
nowhere.
scene. That's
That-
a great scene.
That real surprise, that is my real face. Like that is.
Another personally memorable moment for me is, again, it's not a spoiler, but I don't think it's in the videos yet, is Thea gets a letter from home, and like you captured the emotion of like exactly how I imagined her relationship, like to a T, and to me that was super important.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of that was another kind of like it was strange because it was like a behind the scenes like emotional moment. You know, it's something you could like the
'Cause
way
I
you
didn't-
played it.
And I didn't read it out
Exactly,
loud.
exactly.
I read it as Thea and kept it to myself.
Mhm. As
And,
Thea would.
As Thea would, and I played it off, and I remember saying, oh, I'm gonna post it, like when we get to that episode I'll put it up so people can read it and kind of like sit with it the way Thea did. But I think it worked in game because it was supposed to be personal. It wasn't supposed to be Thea being like, dear Thea, blah 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 blah. That was an awesome moment for me.
Sweet. Do we go into Thea?
Oh,
meeting Thea Copperfield. There's this moment where it's kind of like, oh, I have this person pegged. I know what type of person this is. I just have to put my foot down strong enough and she'll get the message.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, you made it worse.
Yeah, I made it a lot worse.
There was some amazing dialogue between Levi and Thea just off of the first meeting.
I've never felt more in tune with a character that I was role playing. I just like,
Yeah.
she's not stopping. Like,
Is that how you feel about me in real life sometimes?
like my heart is going now. Like, you're very much like Thea Copperfield.
I will say I was not, especially like the way how C and Levi first met. I was not expecting us to bond over our mutual perplexion, like just absolute bewilderment over Thea. Like you'll see in the first episodes where both like the looks me and Mitch give are genuine. They're just like indoor plumbing.
Never mind.
I'm like, this bitch has indoor plumbing over here. Like what
She
the
does.
hell?
She does. I don't know
Why
what to tell
didn't we
you.
think of that, Mitchell?
Because you live in New Sorvia and I made my island super advanced.
There we go.
That reminds me of a moment that I think just happened in this episode because I had to cut it out because it happened when we were talking, like after we were talking about Artha and stuff like that. But Scala brought up a moment where Mitch, I did something. Oh, it's when I made another business deal. And you looked at Sarah and you're like, how does this keep happening?
If I were to explain the three characters that we have, imagine there's a line that you're not supposed to cross.
Why do I feel like I'm going to be offended?
Levi would stand 10 feet back from the line and tell everybody to be careful and not cross the line. Celia would say, oh yeah, we better not cross that line, but then use some sort of magic to see what's on the other side of the line
Yeah.
and not tell anybody.
That's accurate.
That's very accurate.
And Thea would be on the other side of the line flipping us off saying, what are you guys waiting for?
Come on.
I like to think I'm a nightmare.
But don't tell the guards.
But don't tell the guards that.
Don't tell the guards that.
In a random accent.
Oh, there's so many good scenes. I'm trying to think of my favorite.
I have one.
Go
if
ahead.
you're
Yeah,
waiting. So I can't really go into because this is the most recent one.
Oh God, what did I do?
No, this is a. So I think what I love about your characters.
I know what you're gonna say.
I know what you're gonna say. What about Allie's characters, right? I know we were talking about character types that we like to play too, but I think what I saw with Thea so this isn't a spoiler. It's probably gonna be a spoiler. Whatever.
I think you guys can guess Thea's gonna do something stupid.
So before we, yes, Thea is this very fun, very chaotic, right? But I think in this latest episode when it was the feast, right? Feast of Dragons, there's a trial, right? There's a trial, right, where it's kind of unjust, right? I, both as a player and as C, was just there's a moment where it's just really quiet, and then you just hear Thea go, "What the fuck is this? Are you really fucking going to do that?" And of course, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but she basically said that, or basically the equivalent of, "But why?"
I think I did say why?
But why? And everyone's like, "Who the fuck is it?"
I think I said this is stupid next.
Yeah. Literally that. And but the thing was, and at first it was oh yeah, chaotic neutral, right? But at that moment when she keeps arguing for this person she has never met, never seen before, has no idea how the judicial system works.
It just didn't make sense to her.
But had not just the gumption, but also the fearlessness. And it shows that yes, you can be a chaotic neutral character, but you can also but that doesn't mean you're amoral, or it doesn't mean
you're evil.
You're
or
evil,
bad,
right? It doesn't mean you're evil. You're just bad. But it also means you can do your shit. You don't have to just. I mean, yes, the chaos is a lot of fun. It's super fun, and it still causes chaos. But I just saw. It was man, just what a whole nother side of this trickster character where she does see something wrong. She does see something wrong in the world.
Yeah, I made points. I made actual points of what was wrong.
Actual points of what was wrong. Yeah, and not just manipulating them for the apples, and not just manipulating the loopholes, right? But actually making people think beyond that. And I was just, as C, of course, I was really grateful, but as a player, I was just oh damn, I was just in awe.
That was a fun scene. That was a stressful scene.
I think my favorite scene probably. I guess it's more of an aspect. Was
I'm scared.
Her capitalist nature of because I knew that was going to be part of your character, right?
Yeah.
But the way it blew up in Endgame is ridiculous. Where she's becoming one of the richest people in the land at this point, just off of actual business deals she made. And gambling.
Yeah, I've made business deals.
This is a feudal era, and she's she's a robber baron living in a feudal world. It is just
honestly, I have 2 businesses. I'm working on a 3rd when I get my ship, and I probably have enough money now to get a ship. So I could start my farm on a ship.
It's interesting.
Cattle farm on a boat.
Yep.
Because it's interesting because everything I've said, everything that's been said about Thea is from the point of view as a player, but when I think about Thea from the point of view of Levi, there is this she's chaotic, kind of so random, kind of, but then there's this there's this depth there, that it's more these boundaries that I've put on myself as a character are bullshit, and she can see through them. And she is very confrontational about that.
Mm-hmm.
Got to live a little.
And that's where this question comes in. Now, I know we've written all this kind of together, but
right.
this is not stuff that we're privy to, and if you don't want to answer this, I understand.
Sure.
But is Thea... the way that we see Thea, is that the way Thea has been seen her whole life? Or is she more of a fish out of water here, and that's why she comes off as so wild?
Maybe a bit of both without giving too much away. I think we've talked about it. It's never been talked about on the channel, but Thea has grown up in a society that is capitalist and very intense. Thea's money right now would make her passable back at home.
Wow.
it would not put her in the position, and not that she wouldn't have a good life. Like, and I think that's the thing that, like, spoiler alert, Thea wasn't poor. Like, Thea wasn't a street kid, but she didn't have the positions that she needed in the world that she was trying to get into. So she went to the streets to make money because it was faster and more productive than what she was already doing. Because I think typically these characters have like dark pasts and Thea doesn't really have that. It's not like she didn't have a life. She didn't have a family. She has someone who loves her. It's just not in the situation that she currently wants. And I think that she's always been chaotic. Like, I don't think her personality is any different than what it was back home. I think that it's a little bit more extreme because of the cultural differences.
I was going to say, because her personality, if, C and Levi don't stick around with her in New Sorvia, will get her into a lot of trouble.
She'll be fine.
Right, but she also knows the benefits of... Right, and she can talk herself out of a lot of... I'm not saying that the character might not get herself killed doing stuff like that, but she also now has what she knows is important, a lot of money, because money talks, no matter what society you're in. And I think that that's sort of her whole thing, is that... I think you guys know, and now a peek behind the screen for everybody, is Thea's whole thing is to create businesses, because that's the thing. Her goal is to make as many businesses as possible and become successful. And that's what I will leave it as for Thea.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a character. She's my favorite character.
Deep dive.
Yeah. I do want to add, though, just to bring back into like house rules, right, versus home rules. The last thing I think this is the last thing we could probably have time to talk about. But I actually want to ask you guys, because I thought about this when you guys were specifically talking with especially about C, and I think we can spoil it, right, in the cultist priest, right. I actually want to know about you guys, if you've had a time where your beliefs forced you to make a decision. So, for example, like when C confronts the cultist priest, right? I didn't want to do that. I sure as hell didn't want to do that.
You as Sarah did not want to do that.
I mean, because I never really want to do it.
You did not want to do that.
But C also didn't. But C didn't. But what ultimately made me decide was I looked at my beliefs, like the beliefs for that's the house rule, and I'm like, okay, C's thing is literally to protect this magic order, and this guy is just spouting shit. Like, but and it actually conflicted with like two of her, because she has to protect him, but also she has to protect the cult. So that's I can't really talk. I'll talk about it. It's fine. Spoiler alert. So what C does is she winds up saving him, right? But then threatening him, like pretending, but lying to him, saying she's the ecclesiam, and threatening him to go away. Because so like, when I was playing that, like I would have never done that. But so I want to know about you guys, when beliefs have either made your character richer because you went with them, or maybe or even without them, because I know it's what Burning Wheel is all about, right? It's all
even
about the
breaking
Artha.
your character is
you can do something bad. So I'd love to hear more about that.
I almost didn't do one. Levi pressured me into gambling, and it was the first time that as Thea I thought about walking away from it, because I gambled and I lost, and you pressured me into doing it. And it's such a small thing, but it was the first moment that as Thea, I didn't care. I was ready to do it, but Thea was kind of like, I don't know, like it doesn't feel like I should do this, and you pressured her. And there's a moment where I was like, it literally says I gamble no matter how big the risk is. And that's a small moment for me, but that was like the one conflicting one that I had to go with was you pressuring me into gambling. And it worked, but
I haven't been confronted necessarily by my beliefs yet. I've confirmed one in the most recent episode that we haven't released yet.
Yeah, don't say that one. That's a good one.
Not gonna go into details, but that was as a player that felt really, really good.
Yeah.
Like really good. I was surprised at how like
fulfilling
that was.
Yeah,
and we've only had how many? 4 or 5 sessions?
Yeah. You guys have both had moments though that were pretty fulfilling for your characters, and not that I think Thea hasn't done things that are good for her character, but I also look forward to having those moments that I can like really like. Getting that letter from home was the first thing that happened to Thea that I thought was like really emotionally personal and not just Thea being Thea because she's an asshole.
Yeah. But sneak peek, and you guys, you know, I'm not sure how aware of this you guys are or not, but there is a belief built into Levi that I've been waiting to be triggered.
I know.
And
it gets teased though.
It gets a little teased recently, but it hasn't been
confirmed,
fully triggered yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's less. I mean, through the mechanics of the game, it's a belief.
Context clues, you gotta.
But
I'll tell you after the show.
I gotta watch.
In the lore of the game or in the lore of the character, it's more of like genetic coding almost.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting when that starts to show itself.
Any final thoughts on the Burning Wheel in our campaign, Scala?
I'm just as interested to see what happens as you guys, and don't worry, Thea is going to have her big moment very soon. We have to.
I don't even know what my big moment is. I tried to kill somebody. That was a pretty big moment for me.
Yeah, there's gonna be some
That was an
things.
insane moment.
We already gave away a lot of the show, so I don't want to give away too much more.
Yeah, I mean, check it out though. It's clearly not the same between what we give and what there is. And this is kind of just to catch you up. So if you're interested in that kind of story, this is what it is so far. So you could even tune in to just the most recent one. You haven't missed too much at the beginning. A lot of lore drops, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen for Scala. I mean, that's what we're all here for.
That's what I wanted to sum it up with, is that, this was possible because Scala wanted to do it, and it's been super fun. We've spent a lot of time. I mean, we spent a lot of time together anyway. Yeah. But we've spent a lot of extra time together, and it's been really fun to do it and see you grow as a DM and get confident, and it's been really cool.
I had a great teacher.
And it's been really cool to just be a part of it, and thank you for letting me be a player.
Yeah,
because I never get to play anymore.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't this group, I probably would have never DM'd this at all. Honestly.
So future things. We're gonna be trying out some new systems. Scala and I recently lost a game, which we touched on last episode.
Was that due to some
vampire ass
shit? We recently lost a game, but some of the guys in the group are still looking at running sessions and learning different systems. So if you guys have systems you want us to try, let us know. I know we're trying Pathfinder 2. I know we're trying Blades in the Dark. And I want to say, I don't know, Monster Hunter?
Yes, Monster High. Or Cinderbrush.
What? Is that what? I don't know.
Cinderbrush. Looking at you, John.
Yeah, that's what it is, John.
I'm ready to live my best undead life.
So we're super excited to try those. So some stuff coming up. We are looking at merch.
We are. Yeah.
We're looking.
We are?
We're looking.
Yeah, we've discussed it.
We are?
Yeah.
So things coming up. Follow us on all of our social media. Shout out to of course, my beautiful Casey.
We still miss you, Casey.
We miss you.
Go follow Casey on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Sleepy Casey, K and a C. Sleepy. I think it's Sleepy _Casey.
Casey, yeah.
Instagram. She's an awesome artist, and she is going to be doing artwork for us soon.
Ooh,
so excited.
Really? Yeah. So, in the next few months, because she's very busy.
Oh, I'm so excited. Wrapping up.
Yeah, Critical Role.
In the trailer, you can see her bun and her headphones.
Yes, I tweeted it, so you can see her.
If anyone wants a screenshot, I took one.
Yeah. So shout out to Casey. Shout out to all of our friends in Magic U who've been supporting us, our Discord. Yeah. Ghost Unit 25, I remember it off the top of my head this time. What?
It's our fan.
Yeah. We're still waiting to support your
Alien Attack.
Yeah, we're ready for it.
We will drop everything.
Thanks for everybody who's just been subscribing and helping us out and letting us do what we love to do. We are back to work, so it's gonna be
I already set my availability, so this will not slow down.
This will not stop. I have chosen to work instead of having weekend days off. My options were to take off 2 days during the week or have weekends off, so I chose this. So we'll be here on I'm off Wednesdays now, starting next schedule.
Content-wise, what do we have coming up?
We have fantasy stuff coming up. We're going to be working on the Twitch. So when we start playing games, shout out to my brother who is helping me get all that set up.
Thank you, Paulie.
So when we play games, we'll be able to actually stream them. And when we do Burning Wheel, instead of just audioing it, we can, you won't see us in any sort of fancy setup. We're just going to be sitting around a table playing.
In pajamas?
In pajamas. Too much work to set up my office.
Pants are optional. Pants are always optional.
Just
Just
waist
know
up.
we're probably not wearing pants.
We're wearing pants right now because it's not our house.
Are we though?
You'll never know.
Well,
What are
so we have Twitch coming up eventually in the next few weeks. I think our goal was to try to get Twitch going by like our 5th or 6th episode of Burning Table. Yep. But now our episodes are getting longer, so we kind of had to split them up. So Twitch, possible merchandising in the next few months once we kind of figure some stuff out and we find some contacts. Fantasy night coming up. Drinking night coming up.
Yes, very excited for that.
Yeah.
Burn After Watching coming up?
Burn After Watching, which is our homage to Narrative Telephone.
Yes.
It is my turn to tell a story.
The next one is Mitch. We already have it recorded, so that will be up soon. Sarah will be going next. Scala will round us out at the end.
Yep.
And Patreon coming soon. Lots of coming soon. We have a lot of stuff in the works that, unfortunately, because we're going back to work, have kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yes, but we will definitely keep everybody updated.
And I think that's updates. That was a lot of updates. I feel like
we had
a lot going on.
Guys, we're a thing.
Yeah.
Man.
So, we have a lot going on. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I almost said podcast. SoundCloud, Apple Music, Discord. I think that's all of them.
YouTube.
Join our Magic University Discord.
Yes, if you're looking to join Magic University, it is now available on Discord. You can look up Magic Academy for the Gifted is actually what it's called. It's on Discord. Open link. You are free to join.
Which board?
Discord. You can Google it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.